morning, everybody, and welcome to the RoboWriter podcast. This is your host, Nikki Nick, as Rob calls me. And congratulations, I guess, is in order because while Rob started the show, I like to think of myself as the heart of the show, kind of. Or if I might be so bold to say that, since women tend to come in and take over a lot of times. But this is my 10th episode, so cue in the yay! I made it 10 episodes. Hopefully, y'all keep enjoying listening to us, and we the team stay on board, stay focused. So tonight we're going to get something to say.
That is absolutely right. Absolutely right. Congratulations on your 10th episode. You're definitely the backbone of the show. I mean, I don't think we would have the following we have until you came aboard and decided to go on this journey with me. So I definitely appreciate it, and couldn't imagine now after 10 episodes ever doing the show without you. So thank you, and let's get ready to rock and roll because we were lucky to attend training camp this past Sunday at Lincoln Financial Field, and we got a lot to say, so I'm going to let Nick get to it.
Okay. Well, we went to this was the first open practice for the Eagles, 2016-2017 season. And if you've ever been or haven't been to an open practice, they do a lot of drills. You get to see every player that's on the team before they actually make it to the team. So they said they had about 90 players out there, and they're going to cut it down to about 50. So it's very interesting to see who's out there, who works. You get to see the veterans of the team, and it's quite a nice fan experience if you never experienced it, because like I said, you get to see everything. You get to see the coaches. You get to see them interact with the coaches and the special teams and everything. It's just right there. So it's like a behind the scenes of what basically goes on during the regular season. So, and it's a lot of crowd participation and stuff as well. But it's definitely a good fan experience if you get to experience it these months a season. I say go for it. Do it. So, what are your thoughts on it, Rob?
It was a nice event. I know for me, and I heard word say for you too, with the football season fast approaching, this is our first peek at the home team, the Eagles, and what they plan on doing. I know there's a lot of things that both of us hope to see on Sunday when we went, and things that, ever since all the things that happened with the Chip Kelly regime being over and being fired, and a lot of the players he brought on being jettisoned, and the brand new first round, number 2 overall draft pick. There was a lot of things people hope to see that day. So I know me personally, what I wanted to see was Carson Wentz first and foremost. I think a lot of the 18,000 plus that were on hand wanted to see Carson Wentz. I know I did. And just see what he can do in practice. Also, I was eager to see the response that Sam Bradford would receive from the Eagles fans. It's their first time actually getting to voice their frustrations to him, that he can hear them. So that was a few of the things I was hoping to get a glimpse of at this open training camp. What about you, Nick? What were you hoping to see?
Something I forgot to say as well is every coach doesn't necessarily allow teams to have an open practice. I know Andy Reid was kind of big on it. he had, I want to say, the most open practices that that I could remember. But I just wanted to see how the team was. You know, we have a new coach now, so I just wanted to see how everybody seems to be meshing. Everybody seems to be doing. I since I went to open practice I usually go every year, but I guess the most noticeable thing for me is, well, last year they kind of looked like they were having fun. It seemed like they were more serious, whereas though this time around, going this year, everybody seems to be having fun. Like you're playing, you know, in your football team or in the wherever you would play on your street or something like that. So it definitely to me looked like everybody was out there just having fun, just trying to enjoy the practice, just trying to make the most out of practice. And I also wanted to see the response that when we would get Bradford and just I guess everybody's response, even to our new coach, and just see how we will respond to that. So
well, let's get the cat out of the bag. We can tell the listeners what the response was for Sam Bradford. It wasn't positive, to say the least. I mean, Nick, I think there was a situation where every time we heard a boo, we just assumed Sam Bradford was on the field.
yes,
It was a point where they were saying deuce, and it was so loud that you just thought Sam Bradford might have been on the field and they were booing. It was that type of reaction he got from the moment he walked out of the tunnel to the moment you saw him last. It didn't go well for him with the fans, and he didn't give them much to cheer for anyway. With his performance in the practice, and we'll get to that later. But I mean, were you shocked at all by the way the fans reacted to Sam Bradford coming out of the tunnel and being on the field? First time getting to see him this season.
I'm not complete. I'm like half and half. Like I'm like shocked, but not really surprised, given his whole melodrama that we knew that was going on in the off season, and he didn't. So with all of that going on, I think I would expect nothing less from Philly fans. I'd be surprised if they didn't boo him, but at the same time, I mean, it's kind of like he brought it on himself in a way.
This is true. Nick, before we go any further, we have some breaking news over the NFL wire. I don't know if this is going to make you happy or not. I mean, we don't like to see people hurt, but it's just in that Dallas backup quarterback, the backup to Tony Romo, Kellen Moore, broke his ankle at practice today.
Oh, so wow.
Their backup quarterback is down. They're going to do a lot of shuffling with their quarterback rotation, and they'll probably be on the market for a quarterback, maybe even a Nick Foles, dare I say.
That's what I was about to say. He's available. So
Kellen Moore suffers broken right ankle at practice. So tough luck for the Cowboys. I have some more Cowboys talk later on in one of our another hot topic, another piece of news that came over. We'll talk about that in the good look, bad look, because I'm anxious to know Nick's opinion on that. We'll get to that later. But so Cowboys down a quarterback. What are your thoughts on that, Nick? What do you think they're gonna do? And are you at all happy? Is it a twinge? You happy that somebody is hurt? I mean, from Philadelphia, they are Cowboys. You can admit it.
Hey, they are Cowboys, so why wouldn't I be happy? But hey, it is what it is. As long as it's not us.
It is what it is. Classic. Okay, what do you think some of the strengths of the team were not only going into training camp, but possibly throughout the season? What do you think are some of the strengths, something we can at least hang our hat on with this team moving forward?
Well, I'm looking forward to going to the next practice to kind of make an analysis on that. But so far, the possible strengths that I saw was, like I said, they actually, if they keep the momentum up of being about business, like I said, having going out there, having fun, and all of that, keeping it together, then I think it'll be a great season for us. I think we'll do very well. I think that we'll do good. So as far as that, what I saw from that aspect of it on Sunday, I can say that that's a strength that I saw.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. The cohesion is definitely seems to be there. There's definitely a lot more cohesion than what we were accustomed to in the Chip Kelly era, where it seemed like guys really weren't that close to each other, and it was more like a business thing. We came together to do what we had to do, and then you go your separate ways. But one thing is for sure, another strength I saw, and that I think is going to be a strength coming into this season is the defense. I think this is going to be a team that's going to weigh heavily on the
Yeah.
defense and then allow the offense just not to lose the game. I think that's going to be Doug Peterson's thing is just, try to matriculate the ball down the field and not lose the game. But the defense, it looks to be pretty strong. I mean, I don't know if it's
Yes.
saying much. They picked off Sam Bradford twice during training camp, but defense looked strong, and by far the biggest crowd reaction was of when Fletcher Cox and the rest of his lineman crew came out of the tunnel. They got a standing ovation, and the crowd was really pumped to see them. Fletcher Cox is making big money. Vinny Curry's making big money. And that whole defensive line, not to mention the revamped secondary. The defense is prompt to do some big things, so I think that's definitely a big strength going forward from here.
Agreed. I think they did practice. They practiced better, and they actually had more catches than offense in practice. The defense looked good, real good.
Yeah, with all the good stuff out the way, glad to get into some possible weaknesses because everything wasn't great at that training camp. Everything wasn't good.
Yeah.
We spoke on the offense that kind of sputtered depending on who was behind center. So for me, the weakness was Sam Bradford. I mean, it's just I have no faith in him whatsoever. I liked what I saw at Carson Wentz, especially in the pocket. Seemed like he could make all the throws, and then when he took off, that really energized the entire fan base in the stadium. When he took off and ran for a good 14, 15 yards on a design run play, so I thought that was spectacular and it's bright on that front. But as far as Sam Bradford goes and being the starter, I mean, it's going to be up in the air. It's going to be so. And I think that turnover bug is still going to be getting to him. Nick, what do you think some of the weaknesses with this team moving forward are going to be?
Me, pretty much the same thing. I mean, I Bradford is okay, and I don't know if we have a skewed vision of him now, given everything that happened.
Yeah, well,
So
we
it's
think he's
like
bum
we're
because we don't
over.
like him.
Yeah, so it's like we're overly critical and analyzing him even more so.
He
But
was a bum beforehand.
he was all right. What's to me was a he they've been giving him. I know it was something I was reading. It was saying like they actually praised Bradford. They were like they almost gave him like an A+ for practice, and they gave Wentz like a D. So I mean, given Sunday their practice, I wouldn't necessarily say he was a D. I would say he was probably like C+. But yeah. So I'm like you. The weaknesses for me are the same. As long as offense goes out there, don't have any turnovers, protect each other, then we should be good.
Yeah, and it's right what you're saying about Sam Bradford. I mean, for what it's worth, before they lost like some key games, when he had toward the end of the season, when he had started, there was a stretch where if he had started and finished the game, they were either 5-1 or 6-1. So there was a stretch where he was winning games, and then a loss here and a loss there kind of threw everything off kilter when he got hurt and losing the game against Washington where they had to have butt fumble go in there, Mark Sanchez, and he threw away the game with the interception. It kind of ruined everything from that point on. But he was successful for the most part in chunks last season, so I won't take that from him. Um, Moving right along. So I mean, it's hard to say. I know it's hard to say with only having one, training camp, one practice under our belts, and the roster really hasn't been trimmed down yet. But you can kind of get a sense of this team, and we know what their schedule looks like. So, I mean, if you had to give a prediction now, Nick, on what this season holds, maybe what their record could be, uh, any prognostications about what their season is going to be like? Do you have a possible win loss total for me?
I'm not going as far as some other stats that I've seen. Some say, let's say, like 7-9 and all of that. I don't think it would be that bad. I think um, my prediction is that we'll probably do. I'm going to go strong. 11-5.
11-5. 11-5.
I'm going to go strong.
Okay. Okay. Well,
11-5.
I'm right in that same arena, right in that same ballpark with you. I'm in between 10-6 and 11-5. I guess I'm gonna lean toward. Uh, I guess I could lean toward 11-5. I'm gonna double that up with you. I believe every season that it's completely possible for them to go at least 4-2 in the division. It's always a chance where they'll sweep one team and split with the other two. The last couple of years, I think they've swept the Giants. It's totally a possibility. We don't know what the health of Odell Beckham is. He went down during practice himself on Sunday, and whoever you never know with the Giants because they'll look good one week and bad the next. Same with the Cowboys, same with the Redskins, who didn't even beat a team with a winning record last season. So it's completely possible for them to go 4-2 in the division. That would leave them to win 7 of their remaining 10 games. I think it's possible. Uh, they play teams like Cleveland and some other teams that just aren't really good. They're not blowing your socks off. They're tough, but they're definitely winnable games. So I think they can go 11-5 at the least 10-6. I think that can get them the division, and then they see where things go from there. The Cowboys are going to have issues, like we just talked about earlier. Their backup quarterback broken ankle. Uh, Tony Romo's health is, you could say,
I
it's
was
good,
about
but
to
you
say.
never know. One day he'll
Exactly.
completely tear up his whole shoulder, or the back will be hurting him. So you never know with them. And plus, they always got that mantra of being an accident waiting to happen. They'll look good one week and be terrible the next. So with that division, you never know. It's definitely possible for them to win a division. I think that division is open every single season for anybody to walk away with it. So they have
Yeah.
that as a positive. And but as far as anything past that, I don't really think they're into that upper echelon of teams yet. If they did make the playoffs and they won the division, they probably more than likely, depending on who the wild card team was, they may be able to win a wild card game, but they would not. I don't think they would win in the divisional round. It's just I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the defense being that spectacular yet. to the point where they can ride a defense all the way to a championship or to a conference championship. I'm not giving them that. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this season.
Most definitely.
So from the gridiron and our Eagles spectacular, we're gonna have some fun. There's been a lot of crazy stuff that happened over the last week or so. One story I had already shared with Nick. Another one just popped up earlier today. I'm gonna get her thoughts on that as well. But the first thing first was the Snapchat escapades of one Draymond Green. Uh, Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors accidentally Snapchat a picture of his. Well, we grown here. He Snapchatted a picture of his dick. He sent out a dick pic, and it was supposed to go to a particular person, but instead it went to everybody. And I'm like, dude, seriously?
First off, if you sending a dick pic, why you sending a dick pic on Snapchat? Just text them. I mean,
oh, it's another thing. Also, I mean, that's what Snapchat was made for. People don't realize it's for stuff like that. It's for freaky, sneaky shit. Because Snapchat, you send somebody something, they only got but a few times to look at it, and then it disappears. Because you can send somebody something, and now they can screenshot it, but you get a notification saying that they screenshotted an image, and then you can choose to block them after that. So, the whole point of Snapchat is to be able to send something that's not going to last long.
no.
That's the intrigue.
Well, like I said, I guess my whole thing is it would be better if that's the case to text the person and the Snapchat. Because then you have accidental, like sending it out to everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, my mind is wondering, Nick, and I've got to do this for the viewers. I gotta ask if you've ever been on the other end of that type of transaction.
Oh God, yes.
Oh man, they've been.
I mean, one guy. I think one time. That's why I had to get off of. I have an iPhone. I'm team iPhone. Yeah. But you know, the video chat with non-iPhone people, you have to download different apps, and I know this one app I think I downloaded was Tango.
Yeah, I've had that.
Tango, whatever.
I'm familiar with it.
So you give video chat with people. So downloaded Tango to video chat with like family or whomever I'm going to video chat with. Not really a person because most people I know have iPhones. But this guy, I don't know him. You can request people to send them. Long story short, he sends me. I'm like, why? Like, so you get blocked. I'm the type of person. You send me stuff like that, you get blocked. So,
all right,
you get blocked.
Fans.
You
I
get
know you
reported.
might like the show,
I
but
do
don't
everything.
send Nick nothing crazy.
Yes,
it's okay to like the show. Don't be sending her pictures of the pickle. You don't want to see it.
You get blocked and deleted. Yes. And reported.
Exactly. Nick is a good wholesome woman. She a good wholesome. She
yes.
all that nonsense and foolishness.
So yes, it's crazy. I've been on. I mean, now it's different, you know, if there's somebody you're talking to, but I've had strangers do it, so.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's a different if it's somebody you're talking to, and definitely strangers are out of bounds. And I got to say that I have been on, I've been on the Draymond Green side of it. I've never sent out anything that was supposed to be private and it wanted to be in public, but, you know, in my day before, you know, I was hitched and, you know, got the missus now, I've sent out my fair share of happy messages as they were, and the responses aren't always the greatest. But it's never been to somebody out of the blue, a complete stranger, or anything like that. So, but enough of my sordid past. It's just so before Draymond Green, a final verdict. I need to know, is that a good look or a bad look? Number one, that he's even sending out dick pics, and number two, that he chose Snapchat and wound up getting put everywhere.
I mean, I kind of understand it's only there for a second, but like I said, I mean, if you want to send a dick pic that bad, just don't have your face. Send it, text it to whoever you're texting it to, and leave it at that. So bad look on his part for putting it public, but hey, it happens. You the clicking the person, you clicked my story, and
it reminds me of this movie. It's a kids movie. It's called Home, and he accidentally sends a email invite to his party out to the entire galaxy, and he says Y4 put send button right next to send all. It's a bad design. So I feel his pain, but on a positive note, it has been reported that almost 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours afterwards, he was reached. He had been reached by Vivid Entertainment to star in an adult feature. So props to Draymond Green for that. He must have had something that was impressive, I guess.
I guess I didn't see it, so I wouldn't
I
know.
didn't see it. I'm sure after the show you're not going to be Googling anything, are you, Nikki? You're not going to be trying. I'm going to check your your search history next time I see you. But moving right along, and more bonehead news. And when you speak about boneheads, the Cowboys cannot be far. Cowboys linebacker Rolando McClain was actually suspended 10 games. This is his third strike, by the way, for violating the league's substance abuse policy. And he was suspended not for the weed, which is the usual, but actually for the purple drink. This fool went and got himself suspended because he tested positive for the dirty Sprite. For you out there that are on the up and up, don't quite know what that is. It's a mixture of Sprite, cough syrup, and codeine. And it can be drank slowly or whatever and gives you a buzz just like really strong cough syrup does, but it makes it more drinkable when you mix it with the Sprite. I don't know nothing about that. I don't get down like that, but that's what it is, and I, for the life of me, can't understand why he would actually be doing that and then wind up testing positive for it when you know you already got a record. They already looking at you.
That is a bit crazy. Like you said, I mean, quite possibly, maybe he has a substance abuse problem, but I don't get that appeal either. Even when I'm sick, like I had to take NyQuil yesterday, I was just feeling that bad to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to take NyQuil for the life of me. I can barely stomach it, trying to take it, and I'm sick, trying to make myself feel better. So I don't get that whole appeal of drinking it when you're not sick. I mean, I guess for me, I'd rather have a beer or two or something else rather than drink that. So so yeah, whenever I hear anybody that does that, I don't get that pill. I mean, it is strong though. I mean, it has 10% alcohol on a NyQuil bottle like that. This is stronger than some wine cooler, but at the same token, like I said, I just don't get that pill to do it.
Yeah, me either. Well, so it's definitely a bad look all around. I would say for Rolando McClain because his career might actually be over. Nobody's going to want to deal with him When asked about it, Cowboys coach Jason Garrett blankly said that we're worried about people who are here on the field, and we're not worried about anybody else. So he's pretty low on the totem pole right now in Cowboy Nation. Somebody far, far from Cowboy Nation in the desert of Arizona is very happy, and that would be the honey badger himself, Tyrann Mathieu. He just got himself a 5-year, $62.5 million deal worth in $40 million in guarantees. Now, he's coming off an injury. Was it a good look or a bad look for Arizona to pony up so much dough on somebody who just got hurt in hopes that he'll be just fine the next season?
Well, I know he's saying it's a good look because, hey, $40
I know he
million
is, but this
guaranteed.
guy tore his ACL with 2 games left last season.
I know he's saying it's a good look.
Yeah, he's definitely saying it's a good look. Honey
I
Badger don't
didn't
care.
say it was a good look. I said he said.
You got to reiterate he.
Yeah, you got to listen. Open your ears. For me, it would be a bad look. I mean, you can give him some money, but I don't know if I'll guarantee $40 million.
Not giving that to somebody who tore their ACL with 2 games left in the season last season?
No, not that much, no.
As good as he was, and he was absolutely spectacular last season, was voted to the Pro Bowl. I gotta agree with you. That's a little scary. That's a little bit of a gamble. You want to think the first ACL tear, you want to think that person may be able to come back from that with the way the sports sciences now and all the medical things they have and people being able to come back. You almost see it every year, somebody coming back from an ACL tear. But I still would be like, it's gonna be hard for me to wrap my head around paying that dude that type of money, especially that much guaranteed. So congratulations to Tyrann Mathieu, but wouldn't be me.
Agreed.
Oh man. This was another subject we touched on a lot a couple shows ago. Was the Olympics and just the poor conditions that they have. It just was reported today that the Olympic Village, where the athletes usually sleep at and live at, their quarters, has actually been deemed uninhabitable. It's that grotesque, it's that unhealthy that they can't stay there. I mean, what are the chances, do you think, Nick, of them not having these Olympics in that country, in Rio, and maybe moving it somewhere or moving it down the road somewhere?
Well, they're there now, so it's no moving it, no nothing. They're it is what it is at this point because everybody's there or on their way there, and so it's no moving it now. It's pretty much business as usual. The show was going on.
I guess, but it's a bad look for me that they're even still thinking about holding that there. I know they're there now, and it seems to be it is what it is. But, geez, I mean, you can do better on these athletes, and they're human beings at the end of the day, and to have them have to deal with that type of thing is just crazy to me.
You shouldn't have to. I mean, you shouldn't have to live like that, period, whether you're an athlete or not. And
exactly.
You shouldn't have to deal with that, especially as welcoming as the Olympics are. And it's not a surprise that they told you last month, the Olympics was coming here. So you do have time to prepare, but I guess they tried to prepare as best as they knew how, and this is what we're getting. But it's going to be interesting. especially since now Russia has been in a doping scandal, so they may not be able to participate at
Mm.
all of their teams
Oh
in
wow.
Olympics. So that'll be coming out, I think, but the opening ceremony is Friday. So I think they make a decision tomorrow about whether or not they're letting them participate.
Okay.
So,
That'll be interesting to look out for. One last thing I wanted to get your opinion on because it's a serious topic, and um, I'm always curious about how people feel about athletes kind of tiptoeing that line between being PC and standing up for something, but not trying to upset everybody. When Seattle Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson was asked about Black Lives Matter and everything his teammate Richard Sherman had to say, he responded in kind that you know he does believe that Black Lives Matter. That it's obvious that they matter, but he also believes that blue lives, cops' lives matter, and and all lives matter for that instant. But Black Lives Matter is important to him because of his future children and what they'll face uh, growing up, regardless of him being an athlete or not. But it seemed to me that he was really trying to tiptoe that line between standing up for something and speaking on it, but still not trying to upset everybody. And it's hard. I don't know if it was a good look or a bad look. His actual feelings on the matter. Is it a bad look for him not to be just straight gung ho on the Black Lives Matter thing and power fist in the air, or is it a good look for his brand to not be super one sided on the issue? How do you feel about that?
I think it's a good look because sadly, it's a time and a place for everything. And at the end of the day, this man has to make money. He has to feed his family. He has to support his newlywed wife. And
Exactly.
I mean,
Sierra ain't gonna dress herself now.
I mean, while we wish that we lived in a society where we wouldn't have to say Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, this person matters, that person matters. At the same
They
time,
picks matter.
we live in a society where you have to say all this stuff, and it's a time and a place to to express his feelings. And he's about to go into a new season. He's about to go into a season where he has to depend on his teammates who are of all races, all backgrounds, and all of that. So it's kind of like you have to take yourself outside of the equation and focus on your life and your family. It's not to say that you don't care about it. It's just to say that I mean, I guess I can't talk about this right now. Like I can talk about it sometime, someday, but just right now isn't the time and place for it.
And I gotta agree with you. I can find no fault in your logic. That is reminds me of New Jack City. If you've seen that movie, this is bigger than Nino Brown. This is bigger than Russell Wilson. This is big business. He's got he's got mouths to feed. He's got uh, a name to uphold, a brand to uphold. So he's got to do things the right way. While I completely disagree with his teammates' comments, is pertaining to Black Lives Matter, and I don't know if you disagree with Richard Sherman that the whole movement to him is hypocritical, and how can black it seems like black lives only matter when they're being taken by white people, and black lives don't matter to black people, which I think is a bunch of BS and just a cop out and a scapegoat. And it's trying to say that we can't do two things at once. Black Lives Matter just means that right now there's an issue and a problem, concerning black lives, and it needs to be known that they matter. That has nothing to do with the fact that there's black on black crime. Because there's white on white crime, but nobody calls it that. They just call it crime. But I just think it's completely outrageous the way he put it. I mean, I don't like calling people names, so I'm not going to call him the name that a lot of brothers in his position get called. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to belittle him in that sense. It's his opinion. He's allowed to have it. I disagree with it. Um, but I just think that it has to be known that you can do both at the same time. You can be against crime in the neighborhood, against your own people, by your own people, and also not want to be brutalized by the people who are sworn to protect you. Nigga, I didn't know if you had any sentiments whatsoever on people that have that argument, and Richard Sherman himself, who was making that case just the other day.
Yeah. I mean, cause I think a lot of people think that the whole Black Lives Matter means that you're saying that that's it and nothing else matters. It's not to demean anybody or anything. It's just sad that you had to say that anything matters, because for you to have to say that means that nothing matters to you. A human being doesn't matter to you, and they're less than anything. So you feel as though you can treat them however you're trying to treat them.
Yeah. It's the I mean, it's just sad that we have to explain to people what what the difference is, and what they mean. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it should be common sense, but it's not. And we have to constantly remind people of what we mean when we say certain things, and when we have certain phrases, and certain movements. But it should be common sense that when you say one thing matters, that doesn't mean that nothing else matters. It's the same thing with a lot of other statements and movements or what have you, where it's like it's sent to be made that if you're one way, you're automatically not the other way, and you're automatically against things being the other way, like the abortion issue. Just because a person is pro-choice doesn't mean they're anti-life. And many people who don't care for abortions don't think people should have them, but also believe that a woman has it's her right to choose whether or not she's going to do that or not. But people don't look at it that way. You can be pro-choice, that means you're anti-life, that you're all for killing babies, and that's not what it means. People have this 0 to 100 mentality, and all it does is breed like more problems. But that is going to do it for us this week. I, for one, am glad once again to mention Nikki Nick in her 10th episode. And Nikki Nick, any parting words before we get out of here?
No.
Well, good night, everybody. I've been Rob. She's Nikki Nick.